ladies and gentlemen. A massive debate is currently underway across the country over the Common Civil Code or the Uniform Civil Code. There are a lot of theories that are doing the rounds, but in this edition of The Right Stand, we will try and bring to you what the law actually offers, what the law will change and how it will impact our lives. Here on The Right Stand, we will attempt to bust all the myths and bring to you the bare facts of the Common Civil Code. But before that, ahead of the Parliament showdown, the Parliament panel today chaired a meet with the Law Commission over the Uniform Civil Code. The panel met all stakeholders, and top sources tell News18 that the opposition actually questioned the NDA government's hurry on implementing One Nation, One Law, or the Saman Achar Samhita as it's called, and said that the law is being brought keeping in mind the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The BJP and the NDA, however, debunked these claims and said that the law is for a progressive India. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it's after 9 years of the Modi Sarkar that the government is actually talking about a uniform civil code, something that's been enshrined in Article 44 of our Constitution, and our founding fathers have envisaged it back in the 50s itself, and we are in 2023. But let's get to what the talk is and the debate is around the Uniform Civil Code and what it actually impacts. Here is what it will impact if the Common Code is implemented. 5 aspects of civil contracts among citizens of our country: marriage, divorce, maintenance, inheritance, adoption, succession of property, so that's inheritance. So these are the dynamics that will be covered largely under the ambit of a Common Civil Code or a Uniform Civil Code. And here's what the UCC will not affect. The most important is that implementing a uniform code doesn't mean imposing majority code on minorities. It doesn't do that. UCC won't impact your social status. It doesn't change that. It will not impact on your affirmative status, that is reservation. UCC will not impact on your living, that is how you worship or your culture. And UCC doesn't affect the traditions you have grown up with or the rituals you follow for weddings. Vidhi nahi badlegi, par vidhan ek hoga. That's the simple description in terms of, can we follow our own processes for marriage? Yes, you can, but the rules will be common for everyone in terms of what will bind that contract. In the UCC, is the UCC need of the hour? Does India really need a common code? Now, here are some of the reasons. One law for the country in civic matters. It will propel society towards equality. Men and women will get equal rights in family structure, social structure, equal partnership for men and women in marriage, a common law to govern a secular nation, a boost for gender justice and women's rights, and it is needed to end child marriages and polygamy. And of course, dysfunctional laws in the current day and age, personal laws in the current day and age, ladies and gentlemen. As told by the government, the Uniform Code, if implemented, will replace laws for all communities. For example, for the Hindu community, the Hindu Disposition of Property Act 1916 goes away. The Hindu Marriage Act 1955 will get impacted. Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act 1956 gets impacted. Hindu Adoptions and Maintenance Act 1956 gets impacted. Hindu Succession Act 1956 gets impacted. The Indian Divorce Act 1869. For the Muslims, the Musalman Waqf Act 1923, Muslim Personal Law Shariat Application Act 1937, Dissolution of Muslim Marriages Act 1939, Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act 1986, and the Qazis Act 1880. For the Christians, Indian Divorce Act 1869, Indian Christian Marriage Act 1872, Indian Succession Act 1925, and Marriage Dissolution Act 1936. Other laws like Child Marriage Restraint Act 1929, Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act 1936, the Anand Marriage Act for 1909 for Sikhs, all these will get impacted. They may perhaps be debunked or defunct because you have a common civil code. It's not only India. Several other nations have a UCC. The United States, Italy, France, Ireland, Australia, Canada. Then, Islamic nations in the world usually have a combination of civil laws based on traditional Shariat law, but it's a common law. Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Turkey, Egypt, Malaysia. So it's a common civil code based on Shariat in the Islamic nations and otherwise based on the principles of democracy in all these nations. Many people suggest that UCC is against constitution, but nothing could be further from the truth because it's enshrined in the Indian constitution. Article 44 lays down that states shall endeavour to secure a UCC for the citizens throughout the territory of India. What is UCC? Basically, one law for all religious communities in personal matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption. This is one of the directive principles of state policy. It is not enforceable by any court, but principles laid down are fundamental in governance. The Prime Minister has highlighted that even the courts have time and again spoken about a UCC. Here's what the courts have said. Supreme Court during the Shabano case, a common civil code will help the cause of national integration by removing disparate loyalties to law which have conflicting ideologies. Supreme Court in the Sarla Mudgal case said where more than 80% of citizens have already been brought under codified personal law, there is no justification whatever to keep in abeyance anymore the introduction of UCC for all citizens in India. 2019, the Supreme Court said founders of the Constitution hoped and expected that the state shall endeavour to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territories of India. Till date, no action has been taken in this regard. Justice Prabha M. Singh of Delhi High Court in 2021 said, in modern Indian society, which is gradually becoming homogeneous, the traditional barriers of religion, community and caste are slowly dissipating. UCC should not remain a mere hope. Those backing the laws claim that Uniform Code celebrates diversity and strengthens unity. Common civil law for all citizens, promoting national integration and secularism, would foster a sense of unity and harmony among diverse communities, would enable interfaith marriages and relationships without any legal hurdles or social stigma. Argument 4, gender justice will empower women throughout uniformity, no polygamy, unequal inheritance. Argument 5, streamlining laws for legal efficiency, single code to replace complex and overlapping laws. Argument 6, this would enhance clarity, ease of implementation and reduce the burden on the judiciary, ensuring more efficient legal system. The 7th argument, UCC can be seen as a sign of modern progressive nation, implying that it has moved away from caste and religious-based politics. But the misinformation that's doing the round, ladies and gentlemen, plot against minorities living in India, false. Interference in religious matters, false. The aim to wipe out cultural diversity in India. Minorities can't run educational institutions. All these are false claims. Listen in to what Union Minister Piyush Goyal and also Arif Mohammed Khan had to say.
Absolutely for the Uniform Civil Code. We are waiting to see what shape it takes, how it comes up. Uttarakhand had set up a very high-level committee headed by Justice retired Srimati Ranjana Desai. They've come out with a report. Let us see how that works. Let us see how the public reacts to that report. And let the situation evolve. I think people are jumping the gun too much. Ultimately, it's a directive principle of the Constitution. 5 times the Supreme Court has suggested to the governments of the day that this is something which will be good for India, which is the need of the hour, and which will bring more cohesion to the nation's polity.
If Muslim personal law is so integral to the practice of Islam, why Muslim people do not take a stand and issue a fatwa that no Muslim should live in countries where personal law is not enforced? Why everybody wants to run to USA? Why they are going to Europe? No personal law is there. So Islam can live, Muslims can live in USA without personal law, in Europe without personal law, India, in Pakistan without personal law. The process of reform of traditional Muslim personal law is started in late 20th century. And all the Arab countries, they have changed their laws.
Strong statement there and point well made by both Piyush Goyal and also the Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan. Shehzad Poonawalla, National Spokesperson of the BJP, with me here in the studio. Ramnik Maan, activist, with us. And we also have Waris Pathan, spokesperson and former MLA of the AIMIM. Namaste and Jai Hind, gentlemen. Waris Pathan. आरिफ मोहम्मद खान साहब के बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे? फतवा जारी कर दो, दुनिया भर में कोई मुसलमान वहां ना रहे जहां पर्सनल लॉ नहीं है। यूएस में रह सकते हैं, यूरोप में रह सकते हैं, हिंदुस्तान में क्यों नहीं?
खान साहब रिटायर आदमी है, रिटायर आदमी, उनको कोई सीरियस लेता नहीं है, जाने दो। आनंद, लेट मी टेल यू, यूसीसी इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. In 2018, the Law Commission clearly said that there is no need of the UCC in our country and there should be no argument in for 10 years. Why Modi wants to get the UCC now? We have been following the constitution given to us by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar since last 70 plus years. There are all articles which guarantees right to equality, freedom, especially Article 29 of the constitution speaks about pluralism and diversity, which is the basic structure of our constitution. What will happen to that? Will Modi remove that? And as earlier I said, that there are Special Marriages Act which you also said in your commentary. What will happen to that act? Like earlier marriage is the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Muslim Personal Law Act 1987, the Indian Christian Marriage Act 1872, Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act 1937. So will this UCP come and this everything will be shunted off forward? In Mizoram, there is a special status given to the NPF. They are in tie-up alliance with the BJP since 2003 and they have said that no, we will not be supporting the UCC. So what is the benefit of getting the UCC? Now the BJP spokesperson will talk about Article 44. Article 44 says shall endeavor. Charcha hona chahiye. It's not that must implement. It's not mandatory. So why charcha? We don't know what is there in the draft.
No, sir. It doesn't say shall endeavor. It says must endeavor. State shall endeavor to secure a UCC for the country. That is what it says. Yes, state shall endeavor.
The state shall endeavor.
But sir, you can't endeavor for 75 years, na sir?
Charcha hona chahiye.
75 साल से endeavor ही करते रहेंगे.
But then what is the use of getting the UCC? Will by implementing the UCC, the youth of the country who are unemployed will get employment? Will by implementing the UCC, the petrol diesel prices which are going to skyrocket, will they come down? Will the rupee which is equal to dollar is gone, will it be stabilized? No. So what is the benefit of the UCC? What about the HUF, Hindu Undivided Family, which is getting a rebate of more than 3,000 crore rupees? What will happen to them? What will happen in Maharashtra state or in India? There are several states where cow is yummy, in some state it is mummy. What will Modi do with that? So this is nothing but to
cow doesn't come into UCC, sir. आपके खाने पे नहीं परहेज करेगा, आपके खाने पे common code नहीं लाएगा UCC. You're making some valid arguments. So let's stick on the let's stick on the argument saying okay, yes, Shehzad Punawala.
Have you seen the draft of the UCC? Kindly tell me.
Sir,
have you seen the draft of the UCC?
Sir, the common code applies to the basic civil contract, sir. It does not come to your choice of food. So let's keep the argument sane here, Varis Pathan. You made some very strong points. Let Shehzad Punawala respond to that.
Let me begin with the last argument, and I hope Varis ji will not interrupt me like I have heard him patiently. At least we should have uniform debate code. Varis ji, आपने बोला ड्राफ्ट कहाँ है? ड्राफ्ट तो एनआरसी का भी नहीं देखा था, फिर भी विरोध पर उतर आए, और ड्राफ्ट एनआरसी का आज भी नहीं है, फिर भी उसका विरोध करते हैं। आपकी जो मंडली और जमात है उसको ड्राफ्ट के बगैर ही विरोध करने की आदत है, और विरोध आपके मन में है। लेट मी टेल यू व्हाई। लॉ कमीशन का आपने जिक्र किया, आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 2019 में, व्हाट हैज सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेड इन 2019, एंड ऑब्वियसली सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज हायर देन लॉ कमीशन. लॉ कमीशन's findings are not even binding. But Supreme Court has said a common civil code will help the cause of national integration by removing disparate loyalties to laws which have conflicting ideologies. Pratibha Rani of High Court of Delhi has said that it should not remain a mere hope. Chandrachud ji's father, Y.V. Chandrachud, has said कि it should never become a dead letter. And आपके बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर, हमारे बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर, जो आपके जय मीम से आगे जय भीम डालते हैं ना, उन्होंने कहा आर्टिकल 44 को अर्थात यूसीसी को लागू करना चाहिए. अच्छा, यूसीसी से मिलेगा क्या? यू आस्क यूसीसी से क्या मिलेगा? अरे यूसीसी से कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला था, तो आपकी मनपसंद वाली पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी व्हेन इट इन्वोक्ड द यूसीसी इन गोवा, तो क्या मिल गया? वो तो 60 के दशक में किया, और यूसीसी जब संविधान सभा ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में डाला तो क्या मिल गया? और हिंदू लॉ तो 1950s में रिफॉर्म हो गया, तो उसकी आप वकालत और पैरवी क्यों करते हो? यूसीसी इज मेंट नॉट फॉर यूनिफॉर्म ड्रेस कोड, इट इज नॉट मेंट यूनिफॉर्म रिवाज कोड. इट डज नॉट मीन कि कल टोपी डालना बंद कर देना है, दाढ़ी डालना बंद कर देना है. टुमारो इट विल बिकम यूनिफॉर्म प्रेयर कोड और यूनिफॉर्म रिलीजियस कोड. यू कांट से सलाम और यू हैव टू से जय श्री राम. नथिंग. It is only uniformity in front of law under Article 14, that if you break the law, you do not get any patronage of any personal law. For example, Varis ji, you have a son and a daughter. I know you personally. I have great regard and love for you also. Varis ji, would you get your daughter married below the age of 18? No, I think you are a responsible father. But I tell you that if some boy is getting married, who's 50 years old man is getting married to 8-year-old girl, should that family or that person not be punished? In Hindus, it is there. The punishment is there. If a Hindu does it, he gets punished. But if somebody else does it, they get protection, and the 8-year-old girl can be brutalized by that 50-year-old man, and there is no punishment because it is protected. Should that be allowed? Should we allow men and women to not have equal rights? Let me give you another example. You have son and daughter both. In your property, will they have 50% share?
Yeah.
They should have. In my property, my son and daughter should have. Anand's son and daughter should have. But as per some religion, some families, only son should have the double share and daughter should have half share. Is that equality before the law? So that will go. These kinds of kuritis will go. Kupratha will go. Why are you with kupratha? And forget Modi ji, forget UCC. 3 तलाक का कानून, जो 3 तलाक 50 मुस्लिम देश में प्रतिबंधित है, उसका कानून सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला लाने के लिए, आपने उसका विरोध कर दिया. तो which संविधान, which Supreme Court and which law commission are you with?
Okay, let Waris Pathan respond. And then I'll bring in Ramnik Man. Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
well,
Waris.
my good friend Shehzad Poonawala, since last so many days he have been giving an argument on the UCC that why it should not come. You cannot. In India, there are several states which have got different languages. What will you do with that? Equal for all. Everybody will speak Hindi. What happens to Gujarat? What happens to Maharashtra? That is why without having a draft, you don't know the intentions of Modi. Why are you implementing? Why are you trying to implement that?
Language
Second
doesn't
thing,
even come under the
I've
ambit
been
of this,
saying
Waris
time
bhai.
and again, they are on the Muslims' wedding 4 times. Their question is on the polygamy. May I ask my friend Shehzad Poonawala, give me names of 10 Muslims who have married 4 times. Who have married 4 times.
So if
10
they are
Muslim
not doing
names,
it, then why have
I
the
will
law
tell you.
allowing it?
And one thing which I heard about Mr. Shehzad Poonawala is also Muslim. Are Anand, till now what I feel that Shehzad Poonawala is also Muslim. He is my friend. He is not married even single time.
Yes.
Don't forget about 4 times.
He's
Shehzad
one of the
Poonawala is
most
not married even one
eligible
time.
bachelors around. So that we all know, Waris bhai. But I'm asking you, if
Yes.
people are
But
not
you
marrying
want to
4
see-
times,
you
if
want to
people
see
are not,
Muslims.
why should there be a personal law which allows anybody to do that? That's exactly the point, ना. जो अब कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा है, तो फिर उसके खिलाफ अगर आप सिग्नल नहीं तोड़ रहे, तो और अगर सिग्नल तोड़ने पे चालान बन रहा है, तो आपको तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए. सेम पॉइंट, अगर आप 4 बार शादी नहीं कर रहे, तो 4 बार शादी के खिलाफ कानून बन रहा है, तो आपको तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए.
Just give me one line for Ramnik Man. First of all, Waris, you are a very accomplished. Waris bhai, I heard you out. Waris bhai, Ramnik को भी बोलना है, I heard you out. You are a very accomplished lawyer. You have won many cases in Supreme Court. You are saying language has something to do with UCC? Linguistic, nothing is concerned with that in UCC. Secondly, please tell me one thing, that you have said polygamy. I never mentioned polygamy even once. But मन में जो डर बैठा है वो आ जाता है. But सती भी आजकल नहीं होता. So should we withdraw the कानून against sati? Because there is not a single case of sati. अरे if there is not a single case of bigamy or polygamy, then you should be the first one to say, अरे हटाइए कानून लाइए, no problem. But tell me today, if under section 494 of IPC, a Hindu man gets married more than once when he has a wife, then will he face punishment? Yes. And if supposing some other person, say Abdullah marries, will he face punishment? No. So therefore, let there be standardization.
How many
let there be
Abdullahs have married
standardization
twice
of
or
the rights
thrice
of
or
women.
4 times? That is
That's
what
the
I'm
problem.
asking you.
You don't want
You
rights
just
of
want
women.
you want to create an atmosphere of hate, showing that Muslim men are marrying 4 times.
अरे if they are
saying
not,
that.
there is
I'm
no.
married 0 times. I'm a
एक
Muslim
टाइम तो
man.
शादी करता है
0
उसको पूछो.
times.
हम लोग शादीशुदा लोग हैं, हमारी क्या हालत है हमको पूछो. एक बीवी बच्चों को संभालना है.
आप ये जो 2 शादियों के अधिकार के लिए जो कर रहे हैं ना, आपकी बीवी आपका शो देख रही हैं.
आप तो
आप
बिंदास.
जो 2 शादियों की वकालत कर रहे हैं, बीवी शो देख रही है.
मेरा ना कोई.
आपकी बीवी शो देख रही है. आप मत कीजिए इसकी वकालत.
There is an enthusiasm in me to ask
वारिस
a
भाई
personal
वारिस भाई
question.
रात के खाने में
अरे,
बारिश
क्या इसमें
रात के
धोखा
खाने में
खाया,
नमक
शादी
मिर्ची
नहीं
बहुत
किया?
ज्यादा होगा, पानी भी नहीं मिलेगा पीने के लिए, मत करिए वकालत. अच्छा एक मिनट, लेट मी गेट रमनीक मान.
मैं शहजाद को एक पर्सनल सवाल करूंगा.
let me get Ramnik Man also. See, there is a reluctance, or perhaps there is ground swell or somewhere where the Akalis have opposed it. They said this is against Sikhs, it's going to intervene. Ramnik Man, where do you stand on the UCC? Thank you for your patience, sir.
Anand, thank you, Anand. I've heard a lot about, the troubles that Waris Bhai is having. Trying to prove his point. He's beating around the bush, including bringing our own, Bhabhi ji involved in this. कि जी मैं शादीशुदा हूँ, हमारी हालत पूछो. भाभी जी ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛ ਲਾਂਗੇ ਜੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ. Well, anyways, you're not going there. There is no problem. There is no problem. Uniform civil code is not a problem. You see, you know, it is not just about marriage. It is about inheritance. It is about the procedure of talaq, you know, as in divorce. It's not about language, sir. It is not about NRC. It is not about how many times you get married. You get divorced and legally you can get divorced and you can remarry then again. The problem here is there is a section of people who have, let's say, they have a cover, they have a religious cover probably, jahan pe they can marry, remarry and remarry. It's not that how many people have got married 4 times. It is that they have a legal protection even if they go ahead and marry 4 times. That's the problem. Which is, you know, you look at the Constitution of India. उसके शुरू में आता है कि we adopt India as a secular country. So secular का आधार क्या है? It has to be same. The parameters of law should be applicable on every citizen in a similar fashion. There cannot be, जैसे इस देश में there cannot be 2 flags, there cannot be 2 constitutions, there cannot be 2 civil codes also. So this has actually taken far too long, and the demand for UCC precedes or predates the existence of BJP. Much earlier in time, even Jawaharlal Nehru Sahab had to face the parliamentarians of that time. You know, that UCC should be in force. So as far as Akali Dal is concerned, they are plainly doing politics over it, and I can assure you, Anand, if Akali Dal was in a political understanding with the BJP, they would have supported this, because there is a provision for Anand Marriage Act. Anand Marriage Act has been implemented in Chandigarh UT.
Yeah.
Other states are discussing Anand Marriage Act. So my point is, you know, if at all Akali Dal has to talk about something, they should say कि जी Anand Marriage Act should be included in the UCC. वो provisions होने चाहिए उसके अंदर. So this is the point of discussion. Their opposition is purely political. It's got nothing to do with religion. Similar to Varis Bhai का भी जितना, देखो, he's a good lawyer. He presents himself before the Supreme Court. But today, I'm sorry, sir, your arguments fail to impress me. कोई बात ही नहीं है. आप जो the kind of objections you have, you know, your puberty is a age where, you know, Islam justifies girls getting married. Girls get puberty at an early age. नहीं, sir, वारिस भाई मेरे को सुन लीजिए please आप. मेरा निवेदन है आपसे. I am requesting you, please hear me out. The age by the Constitution is fixed at 18. You know, I wouldn't allow a 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old, 13-year-old girl to get married to anybody. You know, even 18 years or 17 years of age of boy, just because she's attained puberty. That makes no sense. You know, inheritance में आ जाइए. The girls have equal right over their father's property, and that's the case which should be implemented by law, not by choice. कि पापा का दिल किया, भाई का दिल किया तो दे दिया, नहीं तो नहीं दिया. That should be by law. That should not be by choice. Third, even after triple talaq being, discontinued in the country, there is still a different way of getting talaq from your wife in a certain manner. और उसके बाद मेंटेनेंस का जो तरीका है, जो बीवी को आप छोड़ देते हैं या कोई भी शोहर छोड़ देता है, उनकी जो मेंटेनेंस है, वो आपने जो निकाह के समय रकम तय होती है वो दे के उसके बाद आप छुट्टी या फारिग हो गए. That should not be the case. How will she support the children? And I am talking about all these women who have suffered in marriages and their trauma they face post-marriage, the financial problems they face, and what you know, they are being compelled into a different world altogether. I don't want to mention things. वो सब नहीं होना चाहिए भाई. It should be by law.
Correct. And it should apply. It should.
और अगर भारत के हर एक नागरिक पे, आनंद 10 more seconds, आनंद 10 more seconds. और अगर भारत के हर एक नागरिक के ऊपर, if every citizen of India is being viewed by law with the same sight, where is the problem? अगर एक नजर से हर एक भारतीय को देखा जाए कानून में, तो फर्क क्या है, अर्ज क्या है?
Yeah. 10 seconds and then Varis can answer.
I
have 2 minutes on the debate.
I don't want a special status.
Varis can answer.
Why do you want a special status?
Ramnik ji, if you may just indulge me. Varis bhai, क्रिमिनल कोड तो कॉमन है हमारे देश में. शरिया के हिसाब से वारिस का हाथ काटना चोरी पर और आनंद को जेल में भेजना तो नहीं है. अच्छा वारिस भाई, एक सवाल का जवाब दीजिए. आपका बैंक अकाउंट है? वारिस भाई, बैंक अकाउंट है आपका?
सबका होता है, मेरा भी है. छोटा
इंटरेस्ट लेना शरिया से प्रोहिबिटेड है. इंटरेस्ट लेना शरिया में प्रोहिबिटेड है.
नहीं लेता
तो आधा शरिया मानना है और बाकी शरिया नहीं मानना है.
छोड़ देता.
इंटरेस्ट लेना इस्लाम में हराम है, ये बात आप भी मानते हो? कम से कम मुफ्त घर लेना मना
बिल्कुल
है,
हराम है।
मुफ्त सिलेंडर
इंटरेस्ट
लेना
रिबा
मना है,
इस्लाम
मुफ्त
में
बिजली
हराम है,
लेना
मैं नहीं
मना
लेता
है।
इंटरेस्ट।
आधा शरिया जो मेरे काम का, जहां महिलाओं
नहीं,
का
नहीं।
अधिकार हनन होगा, वो तो काम का। हाथ काटना
नहीं,
ना बाबा
गलत,
ना,
गलत,
इंटरेस्ट लेना हाँ
गलत,
बाबा,
गलत।
ये नहीं चलता।
ओके, वारिस पठान।
गलत। कौन ले रहा है इंटरेस्ट? कौन लेता है
नहीं,
इंटरेस्ट?
वो कह रहे हैं कि नहीं, the point is
कम्युनिटी के सब इंटरेस्ट ले लेते हैं।
no, the point is
सब लेते। मेरे को बताओ 18 साल के नीचे किसने शादी किया? हाउ मेनी गर्ल्स हैव मैरिड
तेरा
टू द एज ऑफ
हजारों
18?
केस बता दो।
Okay, let him say, let him speak, let him
The
speak.
law
Let
provides that they are following the law.
अभी
We are
30
following
जून
the
को
law.
आपके
Ramnik ji, let Varis Pathan complete and then counter piece. Yeah.
And if Ramnik, see, agar it was so important, the UCC, the BJP government was into power since the 9 years. What prevented Modi to get the UCC in the 9 years? He has got the majority of the MPs with him. He could have easily brought, he could have passed the bill.
Do
he
you
could have
welcome
made
it
a law
today?
on it. But no.
देर आए दुरुस्त आए
it is
बोलिए।
there-
नहीं,
no,
आप बोलिए देर आए दुरुस्त आए।
At least give them.
आप बोलिए देर आए दुरुस्त आए।
Their intentions are mala
Do you support it today?
अरे मान साहब,
Do you
their
support it
intentions
today?
are
नहीं
mala
sir,
fide.
नहीं।
We
आप
know
आज support करते
what
हैं।
is the what are their
आप
intentions?
कैसे?
Their intentions are to harass the Muslims. No, they want to bring the Hindu
कैसे?
civil
How do you know
code.
the intentions?
They want to get the Hindu
कैसे?
civil code.
यार, आप
they only want
नजूमी
to
हैं।
target the Muslims
नहीं, आप
by
नजूमी हैं।
getting into their personal
भाई
laws.
आप नजूमी है क्या?
नजूमी नहीं,
अरे,
हमको पता
एक
है
मिनट।
मोदी की बात।
भाई आप
हमको
वकील हैं, आप
मोदी का,
नजूमी भी हैं
BJP
क्या?
का सब चीज
आप
पता
नजूमी
है,
भी
मान
हैं।
साहब। आप
आपको
बताइए।
एनआरसी का आपने अपोज
हमारे
किया।
में नजूमी है।
Okay,
क्या है?
let's just come away. Last 30 seconds, and I'm going to ask Shehzad Poonawala this question that Varis Pathan asked: कि 9 साल बाद अब जागे क्यों? Because of 2024 elections.
You can't say both things. Either you are saying 9 साल मतलब बहुत देर हो गई, 65 साल प्लस 9 साल बहुत देर हो गई, और you say कि चुनाव आ रहा है इसलिए कर रहे हो। If you are saying 9 साल में बहुत देर हो गई, तो then चुनाव आए ना, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? This is about राष्ट्रनीति, not about राजनीति.
So if it was Rashtriyati, then it should have come in 2014. Why is it coming in 2023?
Then Varis was 2004 to 14. He was ally of Congress. He should ask Congress also why they never brought it. But now जो हो रहा है उसको होने दीजिए, संवैधानिक प्रिंसिपल को सपोर्ट कीजिए।
Right, gentlemen, great.
अरे शहजाद joined already under DMK or what?
No,
I tell you, no, I tell
Shehzad
you.
is just celebrating the culture of Bharat. Can we go full frame on this? I really love this outfit.
There is a reason. If your audience
Joined
gives you
under
10 seconds.
DMK.
The reason I worn this outfit is to tell people, all my friends from South, from all parts of the country, that UCC आने से there's not going to be common dress code, or common greeting code, or common religious code, or common Riti Rivaj code. Nothing is going to happen to that. That you can continue. Shehzad Poonawala from Maharashtra votes in UP, wears South Indian clothes, wears a gamcha from Assam. I can do that.
But you must have the code if you're not a regular veshti or a mundu wearer. You must have the Velcro code. On that note, thank you very much.
Always have a
lovely,
firm grip on
pleasure.
things.
Thank you, Ramnik Maan, and thank you, Varis Pathan. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, ladies, we're going to take a very, very short break.